Hi everyone, I'm Scott. Thanks for tuning in. This is the first of what will hopefully be many videos talking about different spiritual topics. A little background, I'm a psychic medium, been doing this work for about 20 years now, give or take. But as a full-time job, about 10 years. So I sit with people in their own homes and do readings over the phone, as well as larger kind of ticketed group readings. And what spurred me on to create this YouTube channel was just that different people I sit with sometimes have questions about what it's like for me as a medium, but also about life and the afterlife. What does it all mean? I don't pretend to have all the answers by any stretch of the imagination, but over the years of doing readings, I've come to theorize on different topics of spiritual nature. Some of them I still have a little wiggle room with, always open to new theories, always still a student. But there are topics that I could say, just based on the readings, that I have a relative degree of certainty about. Again, it's just how I've come to understand the world. So I always tell people, take what I'm saying and kind of bounce it off your own instincts. You always have to trust your own heart. In the end, whatever works best for you is what you should go with. For some people, they will never believe that I have any type of extrasensory ability. There's no such thing as psychics. When you die, and that's it. You cease to exist. For people that hold those beliefs, maybe this isn't for them. That's cool. For me personally, I feel better about myself by kind of balancing the two. I have an internal voice within me that seems to guide me, that, I don't know how to put it, it's just alive with imagination. So I like to incorporate that in my life. If you're like, you're a crazy person for believing that, is it really hurting anyone? It comes down to this nature of reality, right? Because there are certain topics in New Age and spiritual thinking that can go a little off the deep end, I feel like. And I always tell people, let's wheel it back to something that's a little more practical and grounded. In the end, it has to help you be a better person in this world. I think that's what it all comes down to. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the human capability to imagine, right? This faculty of our imagination is not just this additive, superfluous thing. It seems to be hardwired into our human nature, right? When we're born as young infants, the imagination is very well entrenched. Before any knowledge that we learn about language and the world around us is learned by science and scientific thought, that imagination is already well entrenched, right? So just like I was saying before, let's not go too far into the material world, but let's not go too far into the eternal world, because you run the risk of letting your imagination run wild, right? I used to teach meditation classes in psychic development circles where I would tell people getting into mediumship is all about opening the channel of your imagination. There's a favorite quote of mine by Edgar Cayce, 20th century mystic, spirit channeler, who says that imagination is the channel of your own higher self, right? The part of you that is connected to God, that is connected to the Creator, remains connected to that source at all times and wells up into the physical world as this internal imagination, the ability to look around the sensory world, to digest all of this information and to reimagine it. In a way, we're reimagining our whole existence, right? You could say materially, you're living this life in this physical world, but what's actually happening is you're creating stories about that existence that aren't necessarily, quote unquote, objectively real in a material way, right? You're imagining your whole life by seeing patterns, by telling yourself subconscious stories about your upbringing, about the nature of your personality, your identity, what your traits are, what your talents and flaws are. All of this imagination is going on within you throughout your whole life, right? You can imagine yourself to be a horrible person and it will dictate your behavior. You can imagine yourself to be somehow unworthy of love, and that will dictate your behavior in relationships. So this is always going on with us, no matter if we want to or not. Our imagination and our thoughts are constantly running and creating these dialogues within us, creating these stories. So when I was teaching these psychic development workshops, what I was telling people is you're opening yourself up to believing more in your imagination. You're giving it gas, you're fueling it, you're feeding your imagination. And by doing so, you're opening yourself up to that channel of your own higher self, but also the channel that stays connected with those who have passed on. It transcends the physical world, and it creates this spiritual link to all life, right? The problem with that is that not only does it open you to those in spirit, to feel their presence, to sense them with us, guiding us, but as in when you're a toddler and there's like a monster in the closet, you're trying to go to bed and the monster in the closet is going to grab your feet if they're hanging out of the blankets. Well, when you open up to imagination, even as an adult, the tendency is that the monster in the closet becomes real again, right? Where do you draw the line between what is real and what is not real? I always bring it back to it has to be practical. It has to serve some purpose in this life, right? Now, if it serves the purpose of making you happy and making you feel connected to others, giving you confidence, giving you courage, making you feel loved, that's what you want to do. If the monster in the closet is real and it's causing you fear and it's causing you worry and feelings of being isolated and alone, don't go down that path, right? So it gets down to what is real. I've sat with other very well-respected mediums who've told me things like, I've seen a reptilian being manifest fully in front of me. Okay. That's cool. I mean, is it bringing you a sense of wellness, love, compassion? Is it allowing you to interact with others in a way that betters the world and betters yourself? I don't know. Reptilians? I'm not so sure. So this is where I get into don't go so far into your imagination that it's cutting you off from material reality and making it impractical to live a well-balanced life, right? If you want to pursue things that will bring you fear, you will find the things that will bring you fear. I guarantee you will find them. They are out there. You know, when people are like, I have bad spirits in my house, you need to come here and help me get rid of them. I'm like, man, you need to call someone else, because I ain't messing with that. I'm not into it. I'm not into the ghost hunting paranormal thing. I'm not into putting on the night vision goggles and going to a haunted mansion. Not my thing, man. If that's your thing, run with it. If it makes you feel good about yourself and life, go for it. This is where I'm coming from, you know? So the things that I tend to give a little more weight to are things that I was emotionally involved with in life, right? People that I loved who physically passed on. I want to feel that they're still with me. Am I delusional? Up to you, right? But I say judge it based on how it makes you feel, right? So it makes me feel better to believe that they're still with us. That belief opens us up to very real experiences. Again, we're manifesting our physical world, right? So a belief that a little cardinal flies down to your doorstep and lands, and then you open the door and it doesn't fly away and it's looking at you and chirping, and you're thinking, oh, that's got to be my mother who passed away. That's obviously her sign. She loved cardinals when she was alive. Well, the more you believe in that, the more outlandishly these cardinals will begin to appear, to the point where even a non-believer who's driving with you in the car will be sitting in the passenger seat going, oh my God, I've never seen so many cardinals before in my life. This is crazy. And you would say, well, yeah, that's my mom. It just opens you up to manifesting very real signs from spirit, guidance. Things will happen in a way that defy coincidence, that defy probability, and it makes me feel good as a person to allow for that to happen. So it's my hope that in these weekly videos, you'll be able to get a little feeling that there's more to life, to validate your own inner experiences and help you to become a better person in the real world as well. So I thank you very much for watching this first video. I hope to make many more. We'll see how it goes, Mr. Procrastinator over here. That's me. Hi. I do that. Again, I'm only human. And if you're interested, there's more information on me and what I do for a living on my website at scotedwardhenry.com, and that's Scott with one T. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to have more videos uploaded very soon for you to watch. Check it out. See ya. Woo. Stop it. It's not easy talking to yourself. Or actually, I should say, it's very easy talking to myself. God dang it.